That is an in-house audience clapping. I love it. So people coming in. Nina, welcome, everybody.
Welcome.
Everybody, welcome to Comedy Snacks.
Yeah, you're
Come on in.
Woo!
Good timing, good timing. Thank you for coming. This is fantastic.
How lovely.
Yeah, it's great.
Why didn't you dress up?
This is what fits.
All right. I will not. Oh, wait.
Do you know how hard it is to tailor a suit?
That's fit. Did your shirt come?
My shirt arrived
right.
after a month and a half. I ordered a shirt online. We were joking about it last week that maybe it's got shipped in 2 trucks. I like that. They stitch it back together when it crosses the border. But it did show up, and it was but I'm kind of mad about it because it's not what they advertised anyway.
They didn't advertise one.
Well, the quality of
delivery?
it, it's like I could have made this shirt myself. I didn't need them to take a month and a half to ship it from Texas and cost me $40.
Wow.
So.
I didn't know you could sew.
I have 25 blank black shirts that I could have put a patch on just as well.
You're like Batman.
Yeah, that is full of skills. Or I'm in a cave half the time, whatever it is.
I feel like we should introduce ourselves.
I'm Nina. No, I'm Jay.
I'm Nina.
And this is Comedy Snacks. Thanks everybody for coming out.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching from your homes. I love it. I love hearing
Virtual
real
and
applause.
in
Yes. Don't stop. Don't stop. No, keep going. Anyway. Yeah, this is Comedy Snacks. We air every Thursday at 8 o'clock. Please come down every week. Hopefully we'll be able to open more seats as the weeks go on. That's the plan, right? We're heading back to real shows and real audience again. Mm-hmm. And Havana Theatre has been super awesome.
Yeah. You wouldn't know it, but this is actually a packed house. It's pretty great.
It's a 6 feet apart packed house. Everyone's in their own bubble.
I feel as famous as Lady Gaga right now.
What's new? What's new with you?
What's new?
What's going on?
Well, in the news lately, BC's been getting some outbreaks, is what I've been reading. Yeah. Apparently there was one in McDonald's in Surrey, one in the gym in Burnaby, and a whole bunch in 3 strip clubs in Vancouver. I don't know about you, but I think it's the same guy.
in one night. In one night.
It sounds like a Friday.
I've had nights like this.
Right?
Yeah.
So, welcome. Look, more!
Woo! More people are coming in.
We're clapping. You left your
We're
home.
clapping for more people showing up. Right now, our seating organizer here is having a panic attack trying to keep people in their own bubble and 6 feet apart.
Yeah. Please help Alistair stay sane today.
Yes, please. Don't give him a hard time. He's doing the best he can.
Yes.
Feel free to laugh with your mask off or on.
But in other news, I do acting as well, and what they've pivoted the whole industry to now is that we have to do all our auditions via self-tape at home, which is very simple. It's like it's easy. You do 30 seconds of whatever scene it is, but like 30 damn years of camera jigging and working and lighting and framing and just driving me nuts. It's not fair. I mean, I live alone, so it's the most awkward thing to get this done. And I swear to God, like just editing it and sending it in, you'd think that would be simple, but like if I had a swear jar, like that would be going across the room as well. Christ.
So like you would put money in your swear jar and then take it out for yourself?
I wouldn't even bother. I'd just throw it.
Just throw it and put the money in a savings account.
My poor neighbors. I know. All that work just to like freaking rehearse is like, I don't know, a barbecue friend number 3 for Oscar Mayer wieners. I don't even know.
You have to have your own studio in your house.
Pretty much.
That doesn't move.
Pretty much. Oh, and then something else they're doing now for any scenes that they need 2 actors to be close in proximity. They're getting actor couples to submit together. So now my Facebook relationship status says unemployed. Great.
So you only can do like solo scenes? Or...
Yeah, shut up.
I'd watch you in a solo scene.
Life used to be simple, okay? You used to climb the corporate ladder by screwing your boss. Now you got to have a relationship with your colleague. Like, whatever. Yeah. Now, like, I feel like they need like to merge dating and work apps now. Like, I don't know, like Monster Match or OK Craigslist. I don't know, going crazy. Before the pandemic hit, I always made this joke about how I work. Obviously, you don't earn all your income with acting, so I have multiple jobs, and they're all just mediocre service jobs. Like, my career objective was to steal work from teenagers, okay? And it was easy too. Like, oh, you got an A in home ec? Well, I have a degree, so fuck you, Megan. I will babysit your sister. But then I made this joke, and I'm like, man, I'm like the whore of Workopolis, because I'm just like trying to get all these jobs, and like, thank God jobs don't give you STIs, but now
You've become a job whore.
pretty much.
Yeah.
And if I get the wrong person, wrong partner, we don't get work, I'm I'm gonorrhea. Anyways, that's my life in a nutshell.
And I got a shirt.
Okay. This show is brought to you by Multipurpose Wipes. I'll be wiping the mics between sets, so don't let that throw you.
She's going to be like, if you're watching NASCAR and they jump in the pit stop and that person's running around the car doing everything they can. So in between sets, she will be wiping down shit as we're trying to...
I'll try and do it entertaining, though, like The Price is Right, like...
And our first comedian, come on down. Should we get it started?
Speaking of comedians.
Yeah, let's get it started. All right, you guys. You guys are in for a show, man. We have a jam-packed show.
Yeah, I'm so happy you guys are here.
Usually I would waste more of your time up here talking, but we need to get to the actual funny people. So please give a round of applause for your first comic for the night, Taylor Morey.
Thank you guys so much. If I were a real artist, I would have put that on with my mouth. Thank you. Good night. I like Nina was talking about doing self-tape auditions. I don't act. I don't audition for anything. I'm not what you would call a Hollywood attractive. But like, have you ever? I don't know how this is for you, but have you ever like had to record yourself for some reason, and then you just can't stop obsessing with that? Like, do you ever just like grab your stomach fat and wish you were dead? Me neither. I like it how too you wax like nostalgic about pre-Me Too. Does nobody remember that line? How about you fuck your boss? I really dug a hole here. I'd like to do a couple quick impressions for you guys. You guys like impressions? Super. It's going to happen anyway. This is my impression of a guy trying to flirt with a woman in her direct messages. So a guy trying to flirt with a woman online. Hey. 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 Whore. This is my impression of the drill sergeant who forgot his job. Don't worry about it. All right, fair. Do you think the KKK is very conflicted about wearing masks? Well, you think like they're sending out like an email to? Do they send corporate emails to like all their members? Like, hey, come on, guys. I know masks infringe on our freedom, but come on, wear your mask. Christ's sakes. Really? Okay. I like how every company that you've ever heard of sent you one of those. In these unprecedented times, like, thank you for your support during this time. Fruit roll-ups. Thank you. Do you guys not get emails from fruit roll-ups? Do they still exist? I don't even know. I'm just riffing now. That's why it sucks. I know you're not supposed to say the R word anymore. I know it's not polite. It's fair. You're not supposed to say. You're supposed to say anti-vaxxer, right? I know this PC language is hard to keep up with, but you have to make an effort, right? And like I know a couple anti-vaxxers, caught myself. Like I was talking to this guy this one time, and it was like 2 years ago when that measles outbreak was going around. And he asked me, like, did you get a measles shot when you were a kid? I said, yes, you know, my parents loved me. And they had a vested interest in not explaining a child corpse. But he said to me that, well, I got measles when I was a kid and nobody panicked. I'm like, well, maybe that says something about you. Like, Jesus Christ, wash a dish, help out around the house. You get sick, people will panic. Not the useful one. But I don't know. I by the way, full disclosure, I'm going to be checking notes because I can't. I'm terrible. But that shit now with COVID and measles, it was concerning. For me, it's not scary. Like, if you want to scare me, you either have to put a gun to my head or try to pay me a sincere compliment. And it's the same reaction either way. Just, oh, thank you. But it's interesting. I didn't know this. The reason like COVID and measles get around so easily is because one of the symptoms is a wanderlust. You remember those commercials? Like if you're experiencing flu-like symptoms or the yearning to broaden your horizons, consult a doctor. Like, I don't know, I'm not on Tinder, but if you ever see one of those profiles that it's like, I just want to go on an adventure, get them into quarantine immediately. But I always think about, like, okay, how did we get here? How is this popular idea that vaccines are bad, how did it get this way? Well, I figured it out. Andrew Wakefield lied. We all know that he said mercury in vaccines causes autism. And then the internet got a hold of it and said, you know, hot singles in your area believe vaccines cause autism. And then Netflix gives Gwyneth Paltrow her own show about her company Goop, which a lot of people don't know this apparently, but that company made its name making and selling a jade egg for women to put in their vaginas. I don't want to come off like I'm mansplaining. But ladies, please don't put rocks in your twats. It's $66 US. It doesn't vibrate. It's not worth it. And the main reason is you don't want to go to the bathroom and forget you have it in, sneeze, and end up having to replace the toilet. It's the whole thing is just silly to me. It's ridiculous. Like, basically what this boils down to is people wanting a healthy dead child over a living autistic one, which, I mean, fair enough. I've been on planes with screaming children, and I'm like, is this better? But, all right, fine. Ghislaine Maxwell, I assume you know who she is. She's Epstein's whatever. And the FBI are saying that her beheading was the result of a wacky slip on a banana peel. She's still alive, I'm just practicing. How closely are you guys following this? Do you think, was Epstein murdered? Did he commit suicide? What do you think? It's very divisive. I hear a lot of murdered. I hear a lot, maybe he was allowed to commit suicide. Here's the thing, is that both sides have a vested interest in proving their point. You know, the state doesn't want to be responsible for him being murdered in their care, and his estate wants to prove that he was murdered in their care. But they miss the obvious conclusion, the most logical answer, which is just his neck just did that. It's just one of those things that you have to worry about when you get older. It's one day you're just walking by a playground and, you know, circle of life. Thank you guys so much. Have a good night.
That was smooth, Nina. It's guys, give it up for Taylor one more time. That was fantastic. I love it. Anybody here have tattoos? Tattoos. Anybody tattoos? You have a back tattoo, sir? No? Anybody here with a back tattoo at all? I don't understand back tattoos. Like, I love tattoos. I get tattoos so I can look at them, so I can admire the tattoo that I paid thousands for, or hundreds of dollars, whatever. So I don't get back tattoos. Like, a person with a back tattoo, how much do they see their back tattoo? Like, it must be something they never see. If I got a back, like, I'd have to walk around with a wallet-sized picture of my back tattoo. No one else is seeing my back tattoo. Anyway, enough about that. Let me bring up your next comic, another fellow that I'm loving seeing around again. Us as comedians, we haven't been able to do this in a long time, so it's really nice to see old pals that have been on the circuit for a bit. Please give it up for my friend, Mr. Martin Navarro.
Been a while since I put one of these on. I don't fuck, guys. Come on. Give it up for Taylor one more time, man. Taking the bullet. That was a fun set. I didn't know that's how you pronounce that name, Jelaine. I thought it was Ghislaine. Like, I work with clients from Quebec, and every time I call them and I see that name, I'm like, oh, can I speak to Ghislaine, please? Whew. We lost a lot of business. A little bit about myself. I am an amateur boxer. And I originally started doing it because, you know, I wanted to get in shape, feel good about my body. And I'll say this about boxing, been doing it for 4 years, nothing has changed. I feel like I still look like an Asian Ellen DeGeneres. Man, every time I tell that joke, I like to gauge your reaction, and judging by yours, it's pretty fucking true, man. It's great, but it's also hurtful at the same time. I remember I had an amateur fight last year, and the announcer, he read my name wrong. Instead of calling me Martin, he called me Martina. Of course, my mom was in the audience at that time. She stands up, hears this right away. She's like, hey, he's a real boy. And then some random super progressive lady stands up. She's like, good for you, Martina. Don't let society dictate your terms. Be what you want. Lost that fight, giving up boxing. I got out of a serious relationship recently. The reason why we broke up was because she told me she does not believe that the earth was round. Yeah, I was dating a flat earther. I remember telling my parents I was gonna break up with her, and my mom was all like, oh, you're in your 30s now, can you really afford to be that picky? And I'm like, Mom, you know flat earthers don't believe in gravity, right? And then without missing a beat, my dad said the most gangster thing I think I've ever heard him say. He's all like, fuck gravity! I want grandkids! Hi, Mom and Dad. If you're watching at home, that was for you. No, it's been an interesting year. Some of the good stuff that's happened. I got my motorcycle license this year. Thank you. Yeah, it was cool. I remember my first ride. I got a brand new leather jacket, new helmet. Went on my first ride feeling super good, feeling super confident about myself. Pull up next to this light, and there's this big group of bikers. And in my mind, I'm like, yo, Martin, this is your chance to be super cool. Don't fuck this up. And I pull up, and one of the bikers looks at me, and he's like, always love seeing a lady on a motorcycle. And then I panicked. And the first thing that came to mind was like, yo, I am a boy. And he's like, yo, that is a lady's riding jacket. And I said the most uncool thing I think I've ever said in my life. I'm like, oh, my mom got me this jacket for my birthday. So I'm selling a leather jacket after the show. I'm looking at that general direction over there, ladies. Selling at half retail. Worn once, but cried in twice. So it's a good deal. Size ladies large, which is what I am apparently. Or what my mom thinks I am. I don't know, fuck. I'm originally from Winnipeg, and I'll say this about Winnipeg. Winnipeg is pretty much the Florida of the North now. And I'll give some explanation. Like, right now, Winnipeg, we're known for two things. Great meth and dumb criminals. I'm gonna do something that I don't normally do with my sets. I'm gonna get some audience participation involvement. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read some news headlines, and I want you guys to tell me if you think it's Winnipeg or Florida. You guys wanna play? All right, let's do it. Okay, first one. Naked man steals ambulance and rides it into cultural center. What do you guys think that is? Is that Winnipeg or Florida? Winnipeg? Florida, we got one Florida? I'll say this, a lot of people normally, it's Winnipeg, but a lot of people think, I'll say this though, but a lot of people, what they have trouble thinking is they can't picture the words Florida and culture in the same sentence, so that is why they pick Winnipeg. I'll do another one. Man robs store with clear plastic bag on head. What do you think that is? Florida? All right. You guys got it. I do get a couple people who say Winnipeg, and I'll be like, this ain't one of those stories where it's Winnipeg the whole time. Our criminals are dumb, but we're not that fucking dumb. So thank you for having faith in us. How about this one? Man arrested for stealing meat outside of the grocery store he stole it from. What do you guys think that is? Winnipeg? I got a couple. It's Winnipeg. I always hate admitting that one, but that's the number one crime in Winnipeg right now is stolen meat. And I've bought stolen meat when I was before I left and moved here. And I know the guy who got stolen name is Randy. He sells stolen meat outside this Safeway in downtown. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm counting that as supporting local business. So. I'll do one more here. Man breaks into house and rearranges neighbor's furniture. What do you guys think that is? Whoa, it's a divided room. Winnipeg? You're all wrong. That's actually Surrey. Our criminals are dumb. We're not fucking crazy, all right? Like, shit. How was your guys' sabbatical, your 3 months off? You guys have a good one? Did anyone here have a breaking point? Anyone have a breaking point? No? No one? I'll tell you my breaking point. I knew isolation was going bad for me when I'm on a Zoom chat with my entire family and my own grandma body shames me. All she saw was my neck up, and she's like, you gained 5.4 kilos. She was off by 0.01. Like if my grandma was a superhero, like her superpower would be to give all her grandchildren eating disorders. That's her superhero name would be Thanos Light because she won't destroy a civilization, but she will fuck up your own little world right there. I can't wait for that Christmas reunion. That's gonna be fun. She's gonna ask you what I want for Christmas. I'm like, Grandma, I don't need anything. You already gave me like multiple body image issues. We're good. Oh man, I wrote a song for that too for the Christmas reunion. It's like goes like this: on the first day of Christmas, my grandma gave to me a lack of self-confidence and a lot of BDD, which is body dysmorphic disorder. Did I mention my grandma was the best insult comic out of the Philippines? Shit. I'll leave you guys with this one. Yeah, it's been a weird year for me. Before I moved out here, I recently discovered that my dad does not know how to delete his browsing history. Yeah, that was a weird one. He asked me to update his computer, and I did, and I typed one letter into the browser, porn. I remember one of the titles that stood out was, if the shoe fits, fuck it. Anyways, that's me, man. I've been good. Martin Navarro.
Thank you, Nina. I got my own personal wiper. Give it up for fucking Martin Navarro. That was fucking... These guys are coming out of quarantine acting like they've never lost a day in comedy. I'm liking it, but I'm having trouble getting that picture of Martina on a motorbike out of my head. That's fantastic. I have a special treat for you guys. Someone that wasn't on the bill, but he's a good friend of mine. I just did a quick drop in here, a nice pro drop in. Please put your hands together for a good buddy of mine, Mark Hughes.
Oh man, it's a black one. Fuck yeah. Oh wow, yeah. Anyone else here a people pleaser? I'm a people pleaser. You a people pleaser, bud? Yeah, me. Yeah. I'm such a people pleaser that if I could suck my own dick, I'd pretend to choke just to reassure myself. I sent a dick pic to a girl a while ago, and she replied back with, "That's a microaggression." I sent another one a while back, and I got a message back that said, "File rejected, contains too many viruses." Fucking HD camera lenses get everything, you know what I mean? I don't know. Hey, check this one out. Martin, you were talking about porn searches and stuff like that. You know, if you type in to Google, "I am attracted to," the third suggestion is "my son." Yeah, it's like it can read my future. Dun 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 dun. No. Yeah, man. A lot of attractive women in the room tonight. A lot of attractive women in the room tonight, if you're into that kind of thing. Me personally, I'm more into the elderly and the disabled. Well, you know, because some of them have colostomy bags, right? Also known as the side door. What do they say? What do they say when God closes one door? He opens a window. Girl in the back covering her mouth like there aren't two other holes. All right, relax, Havana, relax. I'm allowed to tell that joke. I'm allowed to tell that joke. My grandmother was a senior citizen. She's the one that told me that it feels good. Yeah, I get in trouble for my sense of humor sometimes. I was actually, yeah, it's hard to imagine, right? I was actually supposed to be hosting a show a couple years ago in a venue just down the street, and I got kicked off. Got asked to not participate. What happened was some members of the public complained to the venue and said that my act may offend the LGBT community, which comes as a huge shock to me because some of my best friends are black. Hot white chicks are laughing, we're good, that's it. People get worried about minorities getting offended. It's the hot white chicks, man. They shut down comedy shows faster than you could say Black Lives Matter, you know what I mean? Oh, see, there, now the show's gonna get shut down. Yeah, man, anyone else here remember their first porno? Yeah, no? No? Paul, you? No? You do? That's okay, I do. You choose your own adventure, baby. Yeah, you do? Yeah, look, yeah, it was a good one. Yeah, I do too. I was 12 years old, and my dad said I looked so good in front of a camera. Yeah. Now, if I want to participate in Throwback Thursday, I got to apply to the RCMP Evidence Division. Ah, you had the same father, eh? Yeah, nice. Yeah. You kind of look like him. Yeah, anyone here like to get high? You guys like to get high back there? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you really like to get high, eh? Let me see. Oh, you're hot. Yeah. She's so hot she doesn't know that cocaine costs money. It doesn't just come out of guys' bathrooms in the club. This guy knows how much cocaine costs. Yeah, you guys really do, eh? Yeah. That's okay. One time I was getting high in a barn, and I dropped it. You'd be amazed how easy it is to find a needle in a haystack when you're a heroin addict. Absolutely true story, not joking. This isn't part of my act. Absolutely true. I'm a recovering heroin addict that has been clean and sober for 14 years. 100% true, yeah. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. But do you know what's better than applause? Heroin. That stuff's fucking lit, yo. I loved heroin so much that to this day I watch Intervention like my fat friends watch Chopped. Like, I'm not necessarily going to indulge, but I want to stay current. You know what I mean? Like, you can do that with a light bulb, eh? Neat. I never thought of using a pop can instead of a spoon. They're absolutely right. A scented candle really would add atmosphere, wouldn't it? Because who doesn't like lavender when they're getting high? Oh, you're an apple cinnamon girl, aren't you? Because you got rosy cheeks, I can tell. Someone mentioned Gwyneth Paltrow. Was it you, Taylor? Talking about Gwyneth Paltrow. Fun fact, before COVID, in the before times, remember those times? Yeah. Gwyneth Paltrow made the news because she was selling a product, a very interesting product. She was even more interesting than the one you were talking about, Taylor. She was selling a candle that when you burned it, it smelled like her vagina. For real. That actually happened. And as an ex-junkie, I got thinking, if I was using that candle to cook up a shot, the smell would remind me of how the dope got smuggled into the country. I've also dated girls who have put rocks in their pussy. Crack rocks. Getting pulled over by cops, you know what I mean? Yeah, okay. So, anyone here ever tried heroin? Yeah. He remembered his first porno, too. There's a connection here. Anyone else besides Paul ever tried heroin? Fucking faggots. Okay, so anyone here ever wondered what it felt like? It's an honest question. It's a valid question. Yeah, thank you for being honest. You're brave. We'll talk after the show. I know I have a number. But people always want to know. They come up to me after shows. What does it feel like? What does it feel like? What does it feel like? And so I've had to come up with some mainstream analogies for like regular people such as yourselves, like people whose parents hugged you when you were kids. You know what I mean? So heroin feels like, okay, you know when you're in the bathroom and you drop your smartphone and you catch it just before it hits the toilet? For 4 to 6 hours. Heroin feels like getting a big hug from your grandma after she paid off your student loans for 4 to 6 hours. Heroin feels like eating a warm apple pie that's full of heroin. All right, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy the show.
Well, that was a treat. Thank you, Mark. Give it up again for Mark. Pleasure. Fuck, man. 4 to 6 hours, eh? And I love Chopped. It's like my favorite fucking show. Fucking Mark. Yeah, dating is tough, man. I've been on a few dating sites. I try every one of them now. I just put the same profile, copy and paste on Tinder, Bumble, Craigslist, plenty of fish. But the one I tried lately, Facebook Marketplace. It's fucking fantastic. Instead of getting a rejected dick pic, I just get everyone asking me, hey, is this still available? But it's just a middle-aged brown guy every time. Take what you can get. Okay, let's keep the show going since I brought it down a little bit. Our next comedian, again, someone I've missed so much in the comedy scene, and I'm glad to have her back around. She'll be doing a lot of shows coming up too. Please put your hands together and give a warm welcome to my friend, Yixuan Zhang.
Hey everybody, I'm so excited to see you again. It's been a while since I spoke any English. Except hello, visa please, thank you, good day. I went for grocery shopping only for socializing. And I only shopped at the Safeway, because apparently it's a safe way. My biggest concern in the past few months was my English literacy. I feel like the only letters I could read from media are COVID, and the only number I could recognize is 19. But as a person being social distancing since 1988, life didn't change too much for me, except the Tinder pickup line turned into, "Hi, sweetie, you are as curvy as the chronograph." I was like, okay, I guess I'm just BC then. Not as curvy as Quebec, though. My name is actually Yixuan Zhang, but I understand that my name has been a mystery in English-speaking countries. Like every time I go to Starbucks, once I hear the staff start making some weird noise, I know my coffee is done. I'm actually half Chinese and half Chinese. Very pure, right? But lots of people said to me, "You look like Korean." And I always replied, "The one before or after the plastic surgery?" Yeah, I'm made in China and exported to North America, just like the destiny of most other stuff made in China, which also means I'm generally in good quality to satisfy North American standard. I thought I would have an exotic charm if I moved here, but it turned out I just look like a local from Richmond. So disappointing. Living here as a Chinese, one question that bothered me a lot is, where are you from? Because I'm from China is never the right answer. I would be asked, which part of China? As if you would know where it is if I tell you. And I feel like there are only 3 things white people like about Chinese. Chinese girls, thanks to the yellow fever, Chinese food, and Chinese tattoo. But I kindly advise you be very careful when getting a Chinese tattoo. I once saw a very delicate tattoo right in the middle of one's back neck said, diabetes. And I got shocked by how much you guys love Chinese culture when I saw a tattoo of son of a bitch in Chinese on one's body. I feel like pretty much you guys saw an Asian tourist wearing a t-shirt writes, "I am a whore." It's been 10 months since I started stand-up comedy, but it wasn't quite successful. Almost half of them was under quarantine. And I got more comments of "you are pretty" instead of "you are funny." I started seriously doubting myself. Am I too pretty to be a comic? And I decided not to tell dirty jokes anymore, just in case me and my jokes together make a live porn in front of your eyes. But I still love comedy, you know. Like every time I post the photos on my social media, there are always my Asian friends commenting, "Whoa, that looks so cool. I want to join that karaoke as well." I'm over 30 years old already. I know I look young though. Asians never die. But I'm still single. Women like me are called leftover ladies in China. That's why I moved here. A desperate Chinese leftover lady seeking for being recycled by some white guys. We don't have a garbage recycling system yet in China, you know? And some guys ask me how to pick up Chinese girls. I was like, based on my limited experience, being a Uber driver helps. I'm now living in Canada legally, which means I don't need to marry a Canadian guy to get a visa. What a shame. But I'm still open to Australian, American, and European visas. Please just let me know. Living here, lots of my Chinese friends in China were worrying about the racism here, which I don't understand because I believe Chinese people are the most racist one. You guys see Chinatown is everywhere in Western country, right? But have you ever seen a Canada town or American town in China? That's so racist. And I very much enjoy staying here, being a bad Chinese driver, freely and proudly. Because if anybody dares to judge me, you are racist. And if ever caught by a police, the trick is always, no English, sorry, no English, no tickets guarantee. Living here, I believe Canadians are the nicest people in the world. The only problem you guys might have is saying too many sorries. One day I asked a Canadian friend, why do you say so many sorries? He's like, oh, I'm so sorry. But one thing that really annoys me is people here are so much into buying local. I mean, every time I go to Safeway, those big red tags, look for local, really offends me. I mean, I didn't grow here. I flew here. You tell me why things locally grown are more valuable than a global select. Why? As an immigrant, I'm still trying very hard to become a real Canadian because I really want to shop at the real Canadian superstore. Every time I pass by, I feel so nervous. Am I qualified to shop here? Maybe I should wait till I get the citizenship. One day, I get all of my courage and entered. When I was checking out, the staff asked me, do you have the membership? I was like, no, but I'm trying. Thank you very much. That's my time.
Man, I believe in immigration. I love avocados. All right, carry on.
I'm getting used to this condom thing. It's a new thing for me. That was great. Yes, give it up for Yixuan. I'll get her name right, okay? I'll get her name right one day. At least I can shop at the real Canadian Superstore. Just kidding. She's fabulous. Give it up, my next comic. Yes, you are hyped, man. I love it, dude. I love it. It's been a long time. You're damn right, Paul. Please, this next comic, another friend that I met on the comic scene here and have been missing for a long time. So this is like a nice family reunion for us comedians, guys. Please give it up for Sasha Marks.
I'm pretty gay, so I'm good at this, you know? It's also not the first time a mic gave me a disease, so, you know, you gotta be careful. Thanks. So I'm gay. Is that cool? Everyone's okay? We're all good with that right now? Yeah, we're okay? I'm like concerned. So we're all good except for Mark, you know? Like we were all like, we're all good in that department. Yeah, I'm gay. It's Pride season. Are people stoked for that? It's a really weird Pride. It's a really weird Pride. I think coming out for me, I think coming out for most people is weird. People come out in a variety of different ways. You know, people come out face to face. People come out via text message. I wore this outfit. Someone said I look like gay Dora the Explorer, who's like really into exploring, you know? Do you like my outfit though? Is that okay? Thank you. My favorite thing about this outfit is that it disappoints my dad. Just kidding, I don't have a dad. Look at my outfit, you know? Yeah, I don't have a dad. I always say my two biggest disappointments in life right now. One was my dad leaving me at the age of 8. And the second being the Wi-Fi here. Like, what if my dad tries to like iMessage me, you know? Like, you know? Okay. Knock, knock. It's not my dad, but you know, like maybe one day, you know? I love being a gay man. It's okay actually. I did one of the gayest things any gay person can do. I got a job at Lush. Thank you. And I had this one customer interaction, and this guy was like super inappropriate. So I was just showing him like the massage bars, and I was like, "This is how you use it." And then he was like flirting with me, and I was like, "Okay." And then I was like showing it to him, and then at one point he was just like, yeah. Could you use this on my dick, though, and make me come? And I was just like, so I was like, I didn't know how to respond to that. So I looked at him, I was like, dude, we're at a Lush. We are at the massage bar section. The facial section's this way. Just come over here, you know? I remember working at a different job. I was working at the counter, and I remember this customer coming up to me. He put down the product in the cash, and then I started counting the cash. And then he was like, oh, you're gay. And I was like, I know. I was like, what? And it was just like, so I asked him, I was like, how do you know? He was just like, you just hold money in a gay way. Like, what does that even mean, you know? And how am I supposed to respond to that? Am I supposed to, like, say thank you? I don't know. So I said thank you. And I was like, but, like, what do you mean by that? And he was just like, you just do. And I was like, okay. Well, your change is 525,600. That was a gay joke, right? Thank you. I'm a big fan of the scary things. I love the scary things in life. I love scary movies. I love haunted houses. I love being Native American in Canada, you know. A weird time right now, I guess. Anybody Indigenous here? Yeah, yay! Are you really? Sick. Do you know what nation are you from? Oh, sick. Yeah, I'm just Cree. I'm fucking boring. So, no, sorry, we were like bonding. No, we were, I remember there was one time we were doing a Ouija board session. Do you guys know what a Ouija board is? It's a board game that used to contact, exactly, it's a board game that used to contact the dead. So we're like asking it very basic questions. So we're like, man, is there like a ghost here? No response. We're like, okay. Ghost, do you have a name? No response. We're like, okay, ghost, are you like a good ghost or like a bad ghost, you know? And then I realized we got ghosted. Stop, that was bad. Ew, don't laugh at that. But for real, was that a dad joke? Well, I didn't have a dad growing up, so, I'm just trying, I'm sorry. But we were doing this Ouija board session, and then I got a little nervous because as we were doing the Ouija board session, I realized that we were doing it with all my friends, and they happened to be white. We were doing it in a cabin in the middle of the woods, and I was the brown one. What happens to the brown people in horror movies, Like, what happens to us? We die. We often die first, and it's bullshit, and it sucks every time. And it was just like, fuck. But I realized I'm actually going to be okay in this one because they don't cast Indigenous people in movies, I think they did cast that one Indigenous person in that one horror movie. What's that one called? The News, Oh, I'm sorry. That's too woke. I'm so sorry. We're not here for politics. Okay, I'll leave you on this. So before COVID all happened, I used to get stressed a lot, and the way that I like to deal with that is I like to go to the sauna. I go to the one at the YMCA on Burrard, so that's the one I go to. So it's usually really busy, it's really big, and there was one time that I went there, and it was dead empty. There was nobody in there, and it was just like, finally, I get the place to myself. So I walked in with just my towel and just sprawled out and was taking it easy. And then the door opened, and this guy came in, which is fine. It's a public space, and he sits right beside me. Yeah, I was like, ugh. So then he sat beside me and kept looking at me, and I was just like, uh-oh. And he kept looking at me, and I was just like, there's something's not good about this. And then he was just like, hey, you look familiar. And I was like, Dad? It was my dad, but... So I was looking at him, and then he's like, "Oh, you're that Sasha guy. You're on that TV show, The Laughing Drum." And I was like, "Oh, whoa, yeah." He says, "Yeah, that's me. Hi." And he's just like, "Yeah, I think you're really funny. You're really great. I really like you on that show." I was like, "Thank you. That's very kind. That's very kind." And he was like, "Hey, can I take a picture of you?" just a reminder too, like, this is me, stressed out, not having a good day. I was at a sauna, like almost naked, like in a towel, and he straight up was like, "Hey, I have my phone here, by the way. Can I take a picture of you while we're in the sauna?" And it was just like, that is mildly inappropriate. Oh my God, you know what? Of course, you can definitely take a picture of me at the YMCA sauna, you know? And you're like, Sasha, you let a complete stranger take a photo of you in a sauna? And I'm like, no, I let him take photos. I made him take lots, you know? All right, that's my time. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Nina. And thank you, Sasha Mark. That was fantastic. You don't have to be gay to wear that outfit. If I had legs like that, I'd be wearing that fucking outfit. God damn, son. I'll call you son. Only if you call me daddy. Excellent. All right, yeah, let's keep this going. My next comedian here tonight, I've never met him in person until tonight, but what I've seen online has been super funny, and we're super excited to have him. Please give a warm welcome to Jason Glass.
All right. I hope I'm doing this right. I haven't done it for 25 years. I'm talking about a shower cap. Yeah. These are weird times. Weird times with the whole COVID thing. Anybody else out of work? Yeah. Yeah, I'm a strength coach. Not a personal trainer, by the way, a strength coach. If you're confused, the difference between a strength coach and a personal trainer is I don't sleep with my clients. But I have started masturbating for them on Zoom. Yeah. At first I was doing it on FaceTime, and they said, no, we need more Zoom. And I was like, okay, I get it. Okay, what's the difference? Same platform. They go, no, we need to Zoom. Yeah, Zoom. Anyone else been binge watching TV over the, I call it the holidays. It hasn't been a holiday, but yeah, you've been binge watching on the holidays. Oh man, my wife, she's into like all the reality shows, which drives me crazy. And she likes all the ones on TLC. Anybody else a TLC fan in the room? See that? I never get anyone that will admit to that. My wife loves that stuff. It's all these reality shows about like, you know, a guy who has 5 wives. You know, what's that called? The Real Housewives of Utah. Yeah, yeah. She also watches that one, 18 Midgets and Counting. Anyone seen that one? Oh, no, it's okay for me to use the word midget because I raised a little person. I did. I raised a little person. And it was cute when he was 5. But now he's 15. And he's grown out of that cuteness, and he's almost as tall as me now. He's on the high school basketball team, which is cool. Yeah, it's cool. That's a groaner. She also got me into The Bachelor. Anybody else a Bachelor fan in the room? Nobody. Wow, you guys are so sophisticated. No Bachelor fans. Well, I like The Bachelor. And she's like, why do you like this show so much? One guy with 25 hot chicks? And I'm like, I don't know. And she goes, but you won't watch The Bachelorette with me. And I said, well, 25 guys on one girl. I mean, I am into it. I just prefer to watch it on Pornhub. Yeah. I realized by going on Pornhub that I missed an incredible opportunity when I was younger with my stepsister. I'm going to be honest with you. I did. She was always getting stuck under the bed. Always. And I didn't know what to do. I used to just lift the bed. I had no idea that was an option. So, no idea. What about 90 Day? 90 Day Fiancé? You guys watch 90 Day Fiancé? Yeah, that's a good show, right? That's a good show. It's a show where foreigners put on their Instagram and their social media filters so they look attractive. So someone in America will bring them over and they get an opportunity to get a green card. Then they get to America and they realize that America was also wearing a filter. Yes. That's never what they were expecting. But I actually lived the real 90 Day because 25 years ago when I met my wife, she was in Scotland and I was in Canada. But this is before the internet, folks. Imagine that. So if I wanted to send my wife a dick pic 25 years ago, I used to have to take a picture with a camera and then take it in to get it processed. Wait a week and then send it to her. She'd get it a week later. By the time it got there, it was flaccid. Yeah, I know. So then I got a Polaroid, which was great because I could just quickly take a shot, put it in an envelope. It would arrive. She'd pull it out of the envelope. She could give it a shake and watch my penis develop in her very own hand. Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. It was cool. 90 days. Jeez, that's a crazy show. I'll tell you what. When I met my wife, though, it was kind of interesting because it was so long ago. We were young, and she looked like she was 18, which was a really good thing because she was actually 16. Oh, grow up, I used to tell her. Yeah, she was young. She looked like Mila Kunis. My wife looked like Mila Kunis, and she still does to an extent. I mean, Mila's getting older as well, but some of you are looking at me like, there's no way a guy like you could get a girl that looks like Mila Kunis. The other half are picturing Jackie from that 70s show banging Bruce Willis. Yes. If you owned if you owned a moving company. Okay. All right. Yes, the Bruce Willis is a good thing. After 25 years of marriage, you wouldn't think I'd make this mistake, but I did. The other night, I was just cuddling on the couch, being romantic, and I called my wife the C word. I know. All the ladies are like, whoo. The guys are like, what's wrong with that? There's something wrong with that, trust me. I called her my little cuddlefish. Yes. Now, she's Scottish, and she says, cuttlefish. You saying I look like a cuttlefish? Now, I've looked it up since. Not a good thing to call your wife. It looks like a squid. She goes, why would you call me that? And I said, well, you're cuddly. Like, forget the fish stuff, but you got the cuddle thing going on. She goes, it's cuddle with a T. You Canadians are always mixing up your T's and your D's. I'm like, what? She goes, yeah, you say water. It's water. She goes, what you put on your bread, you put on your butter. It's not butter, it's what? Man, now I can't even speak either. She says, butter. I said, at least I'm saying something. When you speak, it sounds like you're having an aneurysm halfway through the sentence. Yep. I know. Before I met my wife, though, I dated a blind girl. I did. I dated a blind girl. I met her on a blind date. My friends set me up with her. And it was kind of weird because they said she'd be perfect for you, Jay. She'd be perfect. I go, why would she be perfect? Because she can't see, Jay. She can't see. So when I met her, I said, how did they describe me to you, right? And she goes, well, you kind of feel like they described. And I was like, okay, that's kind of interesting. And then, I thought it was going well. And then out of nowhere, 3 months later, she just breaks up with me. She says, we shouldn't be seeing each other anymore. I know, these are dad jokes. I said, she says, I think we should start seeing other people. And I said, well, I've been seeing other people this entire time. It's actually you that's been having a problem with that. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to end on that groan because it felt great. It actually felt good in my soul. Yeah. All right. I'm Jason Glass. Thank you very much.
Hold on. So I guess now's a bad time to mention that I'm also a personal trainer. And I feel like I try not to sleep with clients. I mean, by the way, if you have a personal trainer, do not sleep with them because hand jobs for me are less exciting, more exfoliating, just with these cows. Kind of gives, to give you an idea, it's kind of like, that's my blowjob. Anyway, okay.
So I'm joining the gym. I really did, though. I did join the gym. Fascinated and excited about that. Don't applaud. I don't fucking need. Shh. No Don't fucking applaud that. No, I'm excited. But I do have a lot of self-deprecating jokes, so I'm trying to get them out as quick as I can. Fuck, before I lose the weight and then I have to write all new jokes. That'd be bullshit. No one wants to do that. All right, anyway, enough about me. I have one more comic for you, and he's freaking fantastic, and he's gonna blow your mind. I'm just gonna do a little maneuvering around here with the mics and that and the cords. But please, give a warm hand of applause to Mr. Kevin Von Helvetti. Yes.
Okay, good. That's just water.
There you go.
Hello, everybody. Everyone's been awesome tonight. I had to go out there, just roll out there for a second and put down a double whiskey. Actually, I had to put that down because my mom and my sister are here, and I'm going to tell some sort of uncomfortable jokes to tell in front of your mom and your sister, you know. And I'm used to doing sets like kind of drunk, and I'm like, well, I gotta. So let's let it sink in a bit. But have people been drinking over the COVID, the whole thing? Have you been drinking more? Do you find? Like too much? Pretty much, yeah, right? Yeah, me too. And I'm like, man, I might even have like developed a drinking problem. And I'm like to the point where I'm looking into programs, you know? But like none of the programs are working because all of them require 12 steps. Slow burn groaner. I'm good with that. That's fine. That's fine. I'll accept that. Thank you for that. What about suicide? Anyone get super down and just want to like kill themselves? Yeah, suicide. Well, man, I had like a rough week where I was thinking about it, picturing it, you know? And went to the Lionsgate Bridge in my mind. Like I was on the bridge. This is it. I'm done. I just had this moment where I like looked across at the beautiful snow-capped North Shore Mountains and the glistening Pacific Ocean below and the old-growth forest of Stanley Park. I realized I could not do it. No matter how hard I tried, I could not get my wheelchair over the railing. And I feel like that's unfair, you know? Like, I mean, man, like wheelchair peeps, they should be able to kill themselves too, right? Like suicide is not supposed to discriminate, right? Like, of all things. Like, just give me a gate. I thought about like maybe a ramp, but it'd probably be like too steep, right? So I'd need like a push, and then be murder. I just want to do this myself. Let me figure this out myself. Or maybe there's another way to do it, you know? I could go buy a gun, do that way. A lot of people kill themselves with guns. But I feel like it would be suspicious just to like roll into like a sporting goods store or whatever in a wheelchair and ask for a gun. They'd be like, man, this guy's gonna kill himself. Whoever that monster is that put him in the wheelchair. Which in my case would also be suicide. But like, yeah, I told you it was dark. As dark as that double Jack and Coke I just slammed. But like maybe I could buy like another item to kind of throw them off, you know, like, okay, I want that shotgun, one bullet, and those rollerblades. That one was kind of dumb. I say dumb things sometimes. It's comedy's all about, right? I say dumb things. I hear dumb things all the time. People ask me the dumbest shit. They get awkward in front of a person in a wheelchair. And I enjoy it because, you know, like it's a fun moment when people say dumb things. I get asked all the time. Like this thing on my wrist, it controls a power assist that pushes my wheelchair. But I get asked very often by able-bodied people if I'm wearing a Fitbit. Happens often, like, for real. And I don't want to be an asshole, so I'm just like, yeah, it's a Fitbit, but it seems to be broken. My Fitbit is stuck on 0 steps. Maybe this happened to you before. I was grocery shopping recently, and the man in front of me had a bunch of items. I had a few, so he's like, you can go in front of me. Kind gesture. But then he doubled down with my brother's also an invalid. Yeah. Things got weird, right? Just a weird word. It's an old school word, like invalid, like I'm invalid. What the fuck? I was like, dude, I'm a paralyzed man, not a lost or forgotten email password. We've established that I like to drink, so I'm in bars sometimes, oftentimes. And drunk people, they just fucking go for it, right? They're not scared at all. They'll ask me like gnarly questions like, how'd you jump in the wheelchair? Which is a fair question for sure. But it's like they're never prepared for the sad story that's about to follow. So I started making things up. So my favorite thing now when people ask me how I ended up in the wheelchair is to tell them that my mom fucked a bike. Yeah, my mom's in the audience, as I told you. Fuck, man. Thanks, Mom. Thanks for coming. On that bike. Mama, you laughing? You sick of that joke yet? She's a sucker for punishment. She comes to so many shows. Loves that joke, I think. My dad, not so much. He's never laughed at it once. My dad has zero sense of humor at all. Never heard him laugh. You know, him being a bike and all. I feel like it'd be a good time to tell you what I do for work. I'm an inspirational speaker. For real, like that's not a joke. I go around to schools and I speak to children. I tell them not to kill themselves. Maybe anyone here? Are you alive right now because of me? In the evenings, I make people want to kill themselves. It's a good business plan, right? Like, charge good money in the daytime. But yeah, I talk to kids, I talk to youth, and I love that, like the innocence of youth. They'll ask any question. They don't give a fuck, right? They'll ask anything. And sometimes they're really cool questions. Like I asked the other day, if you had one day to walk again, what would you do with it? And I had to take a moment. I didn't even know. I was like, wow, what would I do with it, right? Like, and I had a kid right after. He was like, so you can't feel your legs? Yeah. And he was like, so, like, how does that feel? I was like, it's like pins and needles. He's like, so if I took a knife and stabbed you in the leg, you wouldn't feel it. Kind of scary, right? And I was like, dude, you could just like rub my leg, same effect, right? Like, and now I'm not allowed back in the high school. Like, I'm the creep. Rub my leg, not the kid who want to stab a paraplegic. On this one, thanks, Paul. Just dumb shit all the time. This is Mom's favorite joke. Was going to the number 5 Orange after a punk rock show with my Uncle George. So we're on Hastings Street, and we ran into a blind homeless man, and he asked for money. We had no change or anything, so we're like, you want us to come to the bar? We'll buy you a drink. And he was like, yeah, for sure. So we took him to number 5 Orange, and then we got to the lineup, and it was like, I think it was $5 or $10 cover, so my uncle paid, I paid. And then they asked the blind guy for cover, like, and I was like, dude, like, are you serious? The guy can't even see. And the bouncer was like, well, he's taking up a seat. To which I replied, well, I brought my own. Does it not even shit out, right? Like, all right. I think that's my time. Yeah, you guys, thanks for coming out. Support comedy. And listen to Slayer. Thank you.
Kevin, everybody!
Fantastic. Thank you, Kevin. Give it up once again. That was absolutely fantastic. Give it up to all the comedians you've seen tonight.
Wow, right?
And give it up to yourselves as well, because without you, we wouldn't even have a fucking show.
Yeah, you made it out! And you guys at home. Right on.
We need you guys, always. We need
Yeah.
you.
And thanks for watching at home. If you're watching at home, you might see a little donation link. 100% of the donations go directly to these guys to feed
The
themselves.
comics to help them out. We
They
need it, guys.
it.
They need it. I don't need it. They need
He's
it.
fine. I feel like if Kevin asked, he might get more than we would.
All proceeds go to Kevin.
Thank you.
And Kevin, you did save a life tonight because I am foregoing my suicide until we get gates on every bridge railing. If they can't die, I can't die.
Oh, nice. Well, that's a wrap for this week. We happen every Thursday at 8.
Thank you, Havana.
so much for coming out, guys.
Thank you all. Have a great week.
Have a great